Hi everyone who found their way to my channel and to this video. I'm really glad to have you here. Today I'm going to show you probably the most Witcher-ish model in my collection. This is a diorama inspired by the game The Witcher 3. At the bottom there's a rocky base with crows, skulls and traces of the Wild Hunt's forest. In the back, a Leshy raises up with his anthers, like the true master of the woods. In his hand he's holding a sphere, and inside it there is Geralt, meditating in front of a place of power. Before we get into the process, I'll show you the paints I'm working with. I mainly use two sets. The first one is regular acrylics from Army Painter, all the basic shades that cover almost any need. The second set is the Speed Paint Most Wanted set 2, with speed paints, and the name really speaks for itself. I also want to show you my favorite shade, Desolate Brown. It's a horrible, swampy brown color, and I don't think a single project of mine goes by without it. On the lower shelf, I have a large number of washes. They help create shadows, tone down areas that are too bright, and make all the clashing colors on the model look more harmonious in the end. Next is my brush collection. There are a few completely destroyed warriors here that I still can't imagine working without. This poor thing, for example, I honestly have no idea how old it is. On the same stand, I keep lots of different pigments and dusts for models. We're actually going to use one of them on this diorama today. At the beginning, everything was surprisingly going really well. I finished the modeling stage quite quickly using Maya and Zip. The next step was slicing in any cubic photon workshop. I added a lot of supports to the model, and later really regretted that, because removing them was a pain. In total, I had 3 main parts. First, the base where Geralt is kneeling and where the place of power is located. Second, the Leshy, and third, the large base that holds Geralt's platform and to which the Leshy is attached. The Leshy and Geralt space printed without any major problems. But the big base did not go that smoothly. First, I made the crow's wings way too thin, which made them very difficult to work with later. Because of how fragile they are, this piece can't really be shipped anywhere safely. It just wouldn't survive transportation. Second, something went wrong with the layers in the base. Either the exposure time was off or something else happened, but part of the model didn't form properly and a hole appeared. Technically, I could have just reprinted the entire base, but I firmly believe that any printer fail can be fixed by hand. And apparently I really love adventures and headaches, so I decided to leave everything as it was and patch the hole with special modeling putty. I buy this putty in a hardware store. It's from It consists of 2 components, and after you mix them, it basically turns into hard plastic within a few minutes. Then came the remove the supports and try to survive stage. On the Leshy, all the supports came off really well. There weren't too many of them, and they were placed quite nicely. I barely had to sand anything afterwards. It was a completely different story with Geralt and the base. On the bottom there was a huge amount of supports, and since I didn't remove them before curing the model like I normally do, but cured everything together, they were coming off terribly. I even managed to cut myself while trying to tear them away. On the upper part of the model, there were also lots of tiny supports, and I was still finding some of them already during the painting stage. Thankfully, those ones came off pretty easy. The worst were the supports inside the place of Power Stone. There should have been a Quen sign there, very thin, to create the illusion that it's floating. At some point, it just snapped off. Luckily, I was able to quickly glue it back in place using gel polish. After that, it was time for priming. I used hobby paint from Vallejo in a beige color. I absolutely hate white and black primer because you can't see anything on them. Everything is either too bright or disappears into a black hole, so beige is my perfect option. I carefully spray the model from all sides, let it dry, and only then move on to painting. I started with the base with Geralt. First, I used green shades to paint the grass around him. Then I moved on to the stones and the plants around the place of power. Since I had used grey resin, I didn't really need to paint the inside of the stone. The base color already looked good enough. After that, I moved on to Geralt himself. At first I only applied flat base colors without any fancy details. Then I slowly added shadows, transitions and highlights on the areas that needed them. Next up was the Leshy. First, I covered his body with a very dark brown color and painted his clothing in a deep, bloody burgundy. To be honest, I never fully figured out what exactly he's wearing in the game, but based on the screenshots I found, I'm pretty happy with the result. After the base colors, I lightened the raised areas, refined the small details, in the end decided to add some moss. I had a little bag of fake moss in 3 shades, so I put it on one antler, his arms, and some parts of the body. I think it turned out quite atmospheric. And finally, the big base. Here, everything was fairly straightforward. Base colors first, details later. I painted all the rocks with grey acrylic mixed from black and white. Then I started working on the crows, painting them all black. This was the longest and most nerve-wracking stage because the wings were still extremely fragile and could break from any wrong move. Now, after paint and varnish, they're much sturdier, but back then it was pure lottery. After that, I painted their beaks, and for the crows, with open mouths, I added a bright blood red color, which Army Painter literally calls murder scene. I then further worked on the rocks, adding different shades of blue and green so they wouldn't look flat. And finally, I added sand. It's a special model dust that I simply glued on with PVA. It holds up great and gives a really nice texture. At some point, I remembered that I had tufts of artificial grass, so I glued some of those on the base as well, and the composition instantly looked more alive. Once all the painting was done, it was time for the lighting. I used a small, pre-made LED string light. I folded it several times and, using tweezers, pushed it inside the place of Power Stone. While doing that, I constantly checked that I wasn't damaging any of the bulbs or connections, because I really had to force it in there, but everything worked. The stone lit up, and the whole scene instantly looked much more magical. After that, I test-fitted Geralt's base onto the big base. I think they look really good together. I attached the base using air-dry clay. As funny as it sounds, it's actually a great material if you're not 100% sure about the final position of the model. Once it cures, it practically turns into stone, and later it's almost impossible to pry it off. Then,
I glued the Leshy in place.
finished up the big base by fixing the lighting system inside with double-sided tape and added a neat black backing underneath so the whole piece looks nicely finished. During the day, it's a grim scene from The Witcher 3, and in the evening, it becomes a soft, slightly eerie magical glow on your shelf. While I was reviewing the footage, I realized how much I need to change my approach to filming. Most likely, the next video will be shot from different angles and much closer to the model. But, for now, please don't judge this too harshly. We'll work with what we've got.
So, despite all the challenges along this way, I can say that this model became my favorite one in my collection. If you want to see more, you can find it on my channel, and I can show you, like an example, this one. It was based on famous computer game Hollow Knight, and I really like this game and this character. It's Sherma. I'm not sure how it should sound on English language, but on Russian language it's Sherma. If you enjoyed how it turns out, please give this video a like, it means a lot to me. And now I have to decide which character to work out next, so feel free to leave your comments, ideas, suggestions and so on in the comments. And I also have a problem. I have such kinds of glass spheres. They are a little bit smaller than the ones I usually use, so I need to figure out what to do with them. Let's see what ideas we can come up together. Thank you so much for staying with me during this video, and see you in the next one. Bye!